Hey guys, welcome to the second episode of Suit Up, where I take user requested setups, run them, and then assess them. Today, Infinity Assassin suggested using the H23 in the ESL loadout. As the title suggests, this loadout was chosen to recreate the very competitive loadouts used by pro gamers on the battlefield. The H23 is set up with the Coyote sight, laser sight, heavy barrel, and angled grip. For the secondary, we have the 44 Magnum with a mini RDS, laser sight, and heavy barrel. The assault gadgets are the stock standard defibrillators and medkit, this time using the first aid pack. Finally, for grenades, we have flashbangs and the offensive field upgrade. By nature of this loadout, it was very effective. The two main guns used in competitive battlefield are the H23 and AK-971, with the H23 being more controllable and effective at longer ranges. The H23 is also considered by many to be the best assault rifle in Battlefield 4. Previously, I referred to the M416 mainly. I prefer the M416 mainly because of the quicker reload, but after garnering several hundred kills with the H23 fairly quickly and easily, I'm not so sure. Regardless, the H23 is a very versatile and effective weapon, being capable of taking out close quarters targets quickly, but with a controllable enough recoil to take out long range targets with tap firing and microbursting. Let's take a look at the stats. The H23 fires at 770 RPM and has a standard damage of 24, dropping off to 18, starting at 8 meters and ending at 55 meters. It has a muzzle velocity of 620 meters per second and 350 meters per second when suppressed. It has a standard gravity of 15 meters per second squared and mag size of 30 plus 1 in the chamber. The quick reload clocks in at 2.1 seconds, but the long reload is 3.1 seconds. This weapon has recoil up of 0.36, recoil left of 0.15, and recoil right of 0.25, and the first shot recoil multiplier of 2. The spread increase per shot is 0.1, ADS accuracy is 0.2 when still and 1 when moving. The hipfire accuracy is 3 when standing and still, 2.5 when crouching and still, 2 when prone and still, 3.5 when standing and moving, 3 when crouching and moving, and 2.5 when prone and moving. Now let's consider the attachments. The Coyote sight is my favorite and undoubtedly probably the most popular sight in Battlefield. The laser sight is the standard attachment in Battlefield and increases non-moving hipfire by 25% and moving hipfire by 33%. Assuming you were standing with hipfire, this would reduce deviation to 2.25 when standing still and 2.33 when strafing. However, there are some drawbacks that you should be careful of, namely giving away your position and making yourself an easy target. If there is smoke or dust, the laser will shine through it and give any enemies an easy target, whereas you may not even be able to see them. Also, if you're trying to be stealthy or flank around, it's recommended you turn off your laser sight. It isn't uncommon for me to easily discover the location of an enemy solo capper by the laser, allowing for easy disposal. Now, of course, running a laser sight is always going to be better than not running an attachment, because if you don't want to use it, you can just hit T and turn it off. However, be aware of when it is on, because there are some situations where it's more detrimental than helpful. The heavy barrel is a very useful attachment for more skilled players who can handle recoil, as it increases standing ADS accuracy by 50%, moving accuracy by 13%, and 7% less spread increase per shot, at the cost of only 30% more increased vertical recoil. The angled grip goes very well with the heavy barrel, reducing the first shot multiplier by 33% to 1.33, helping with the overall recoil and particularly easing tap firing and microbursting. I believe this setup is very efficient, but there are some tweaks you can make to make it fit you better. If you believe that you're sufficiently good at controlling recoil, you can swap out the angled grip for an ergo grip or stubby grip to increase accuracy when moving and reduce spread increase per shot, respectively. On the other hand, if you find difficulty controlling the recoil, you can take the heavy barrel off for a standard barrel, flash hider, or suppressor. And yeah, the 44 Magnum is certainly a good secondary. It is very accurate with only 0.1 degrees of bullet deviation. However, it is a slower firing revolver compared to the others with only 150 RPM. It has a maximum damage of 56 that drops off to 37.5, starting at 12.5 meters and ending at 50 meters. This means that up to 24 meters it's a 2-shot to the chest and a 1-shot to the head. It has a muzzle velocity of 460 meters per second, and there is no suppressor option. The gravity is once again 15 meters per second squared, and the gun holds 6 bullets. The reload is a long 4 seconds, regardless if there are bullets left in the gun or not. There's a huge upwards recoil of 2 and side-to-side recoil of 0.2 for both, with a 1 first shot multiplier. There's a 0.3 spread increase per shot, 0.1 deviation while standing in ADS, 1 when ADS and moving or hip firing and not moving, 1 and 1.5 when hip firing and moving. It's highly recommended that you stand still while shooting ADS because the penalty for strafing is pretty damn high. But what about the attachments? In my opinion, the Delta RDS is actually worse than the Mini RDS simply because the red triangle covers too much and makes me more likely to miss my shots. The Mini RDS is a perfectly good sight for those who don't feel the need to use the Magnum naked because quitting jack frags is just wrong. Laser sight once again increases standing hip fire accuracy by 25% and strafing accuracy by 33%. I think you can have the laser sight on 100% of the time with your secondary, because the only times you really need to use it is if you have to quick switch from your primary to finish an enemy or multiple enemies, in which case avoiding detection probably isn't of highest priority. Of course, if you run out of primary ammo, it would be a different story and you'd have to kind of treat your secondary as a primary. The heavy barrel on the Magnum increases the accuracy and also the recoil, but firing at only 150 RPM and being semi-auto, this should be easy to counter. Defibrillators are a no-brainer for any assault player. The ability to bring teammates back to life is incredibly useful, and I'm virtually always running this. With the recent patch, medkits were nerfed, so that for medic bags you could not heal while suppressed, and for first aid packs you could not pick up the first aid pack while suppressed, but you could heal if you picked it up when you were unsuppressed, assuming you haven't taken damage, even if you start getting suppressed. The change eliminated the medic bag's main advantage, that you can heal whenever you were next to a bag, regardless of suppression or taking damage, whereas the first aid pack stopped healing if you took damage. Now, it's merely healing multiple people versus healing on the run. You can throw 2 first aid packs at once, which is almost always sufficient. Almost. One for you and one for a teammate, with a new one spawning every 10 seconds. On the other hand, spending up to 10 seconds sitting on a medic bag doesn't sound appealing at all, and an awfully efficient way to get shot and die. Flashbangs were also buffed, so now the flashbang effect lasts for ages if it detonates in your field of view, and also strips you of icons that causes you not to know if you're looking at enemies or friendlies. I've used flashbangs frequently to help push up, and believe this is a very useful grenade, far more than before. I actually didn't encounter a single situation where I thought to myself, geez, I wish I had a frag grenade, where there were plenty of times I won firefights because of my flashbangs. The offensive field upgrade is an all-kit field upgrade with 4 upgrade paths. Sprint increases the maximum sprint speed by 10%. Ammo increases maximum inventory of bullets by 50%. Grenades increase maximum inventory of hand grenades by 1. Reduced fall increases height you can fall without damage. Sprint can be somewhat useful if you're racing teammates to prized vehicles, battle pickups, railgun, or important objectives, or even if you're really into knifing people and want to catch up to escaping enemies. Ammo is a very useful upgrade, and you can last a lot longer without having to get to an ammo box or kit switch, so it drastically reduces those moments where you're on an epic kill streak but have no bullets left. The grenade upgrade is pretty useful, in this case giving you 4 flashbangs to use. The last upgrade, reduced fall, is kinda crappy, but I'm sure it has its uses somewhere out there in the universe. So to conclude, by nature of the loadout, it was very effective. Arguably the best assault rifle combined with effective attachments, a reliable secondary, very useful gadgets and grenades, and some helpful upgrades makes for a very effective setup, and I would definitely recommend you try this out. On a scale from 21 to 69, I rate this loadout as 64. For all you non-MLG folk, that's 4.5 out of 5. But that's all from me. Thanks for watching, and peace out.